How do I get my spouse more involved?
One question that I get asked all the time, especially if we've been with a family for 6 months or a year, is how do I get my spouse more involved? How do I get them with the program? It doesn't seem like they're behind the techniques and the things that we're doing to help our child get better. And, you know, divorce is rampant in our country, in our world. But in families where there are special needs children, it is extremely high. I want to say the current statistics are over 80%. You know, that is for a couple of reasons. And these reasons can either pull you together or pull you apart. And it's really up to you. And I'm talking to you about this now because I want you to start off this journey together. I'm going to speak as a woman because I immediately took over the role as the administrator of my son's program. It's not that I really had more time. I just had that desire. I was the one that was with him more at home. I was the one that was around all of my children a little bit more. We're a little bit more hands-on. That's just the way life is. That's the separation of the genders. And what happens is when the one parent, the mom in most cases, takes over going to the IEPs, takes over monitoring the therapist, takes over listening to all the goals, working on all of this schedules and equipment, this, that, and the other, all day, every day, the dad comes home from work and tries to, you know, just do what he's always has done, and it could be completely contradictory to everything else that you've been doing throughout the day. You know, men are rescuers. They want to be the white knight on, you know, with the shiny suit of armor, coming in and slaying all the dragons and waving the wand and making it better and making it right. And it's extremely frustrating and extremely frightening for a dad not to be able to do that. They can't fix this today. They can't fix it tomorrow. They can't fix it next week. It's going to take some time. It doesn't happen overnight. And the way to stay together with this, I believe, is from day one. When you first get this diagnosis, I'm sure you clung to each other like you were on a desert island with a big storm brewing all over the place and trees bending and all heck breaking loose, and you clung to each other like it was the last day on earth. Out of fear, out of sadness, out of grief, out of whatever it is. You need to put that aside right now, that feeling of desperation, and use it as a positive way. You need to work together. It's not always possible or feasible to expect both parents to be there for every speech session, for every therapy session, for every school event. That's not life. It can't happen. But what you can do to integrate the dad or the other spouse into the program so that you're not at each other's heads, that you're not at each other's throats and arguing, and he's not accidentally messing up something that you guys had set up, is by keeping him informed. And that doesn't mean you have to sit up at night and talk about it for 3 hours. Anytime you get a piece of correspondence, whether it's an email from a therapist or a school or certain notes that are important, or you're starting something new, keep it in a journal. Better yet, forward the email. Send him a little email. Send him something that he can feel along the way during that day, that he's a part of things, that he's mentally there, understanding and knowing what's going on. And then before you sit down and try something new, tell him what you're doing. Tell him what you're going to do. And assign duties at night. I don't mean to sound condescending or like I'm, the superior mom in this whole deal, and dad doesn't know what he's doing, but you need to help him. You didn't know anything about this either, until you became involved. And you need to involve him. And if that means that he is now in charge of bath time every night, or he's now in charge of getting the pajamas on every night, or he's in charge of getting the clothes laid out for the next day with your child, then that's it. And that has to be a consistent factor. Keep him involved. If you push him aside because you're so dang busy and you're so focused and you're so driven to the next level of success, your marriage is going to go down the tubes. And not only are you going to have the extra stressors and work of helping your child recover, you are going to be doing it alone. And that's not an optimal situation. Your child deserves to have two parents whenever possible.